entirely new environment for me. And so I think with time, that kind of, as much as it's still there, like the fact that you're not in your country, it's a different culture altogether. But I think I'm trying to find words to really express things better. But I think it's been more of
Guys, just get your popcorn. Just see that, because she has things to. Lovelies, welcome back again to my TMI series. My name is Jean Bernard. In this series, we talk about more things about people here in China, different cultures, different background, different lifestyle, and people are willing to share out their experience with us. Well, if you're a new subscriber, you're very much welcome. This is more about what we do here in the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, keep sharing, and like this video if you like it and the content you're seeing here. And if you're a returning subscriber, I love you guys a lot, and you guys know that already. Today, I have another guest with me on our TMI series. She's quite gorgeous, all right? She's cute. She's amazing. She's how do I say? Inspired. She's she's stupendous. I mean, she's everything eloquent you can think about. I'm here with me. Ta-da! Well, let's give her the chance to introduce her wonderful self. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Jean. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me in your board. Guys, she actually invited me to her house and she gave me some fruits. I mean, I should be the one getting her gifts, right? And she just blessed me with a lot of gifts right now, and I'm so honored. So, can we know you?
Hi guys, my name is Justina, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm quite nervous now for some reasons. But yeah, that's me, from Nigeria, and yeah.
Alright guys, so you can see I have my sister here. I know you guys would be like, Jane, not again. You're bringing your sister to the house. Of course. If I don't bring my family to the TMI series, who else will I bring, right? So, guys, we're going to tell you more about ourselves, more about being a Nigerian in China. Okay, so stick around. Don't forget to share this video to all your friends out there. And don't forget to watch to the last minute, because that is where the gist, the main cocoa is coming. All right, so as we do it here, we allow people to talk to their people back home in their language. So, please don't be nervous.
Well, I had to tell her behind the scene that if I embarrass her, she should take it like that. Well, Dalundi Bem.
Oh. Hey, actually, it's not easy because. Forget the fact that she's kind of nervous. I am very nervous because if I'm asked to speak my language, right, I can, but maybe not fluently, right? So I really understand her. But apart from that, is there any other thing you like to tell to our Ndebai at home?
No.
All right, guys. So let's just go into the video. She's gonna think about that. Within the end of the video, she's gonna bring up the Igbo language. And by the way, I didn't ask you, where in Nigeria are you from?
Oh, I'm actually from Anambra.
Okay, she's from Anambra. That's the eastern part of Nigeria. And what language do you guys speak there?
Apparently Igbo.
I wouldn't Igbo. All right. So, speaking of you living here in China, right? And how long have you been in China?
Approximately 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3+, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So, what was your first year like in China?
I think I'll have to relive the experience. It was exciting, I would say, my first year. It was exciting because, I mean, it was a change of environment. and then you're getting to see somewhere different from your country and all of those things. So you're just that excitement. So I didn't really have cultural shock as people will think rather, because of that excitement, that initial excitement and all whatnot. So basically that was how my first year in China was.
Guys, she's quite unique. I mean, no cultural shock. This is gonna be interesting. So how can you compare your first year in China to now, your third year?
This question is just as though she's popping them on me, and there wasn't a time to kind of think on them or something like that. As compared to my now, I think it's been a growth process as compared to when I came here earlier. My first year in China was more, like I said, it was exciting. It was you not really paying attention to the differences and all whatnot. You're carried away with that excitement of being in an entirely new environment for me. And so I think with time, that kind of, as much as it's still there, like the fact that you're not in your country, it's a different culture altogether. But I think I'm trying to find words to really express things better. But I think it's been more of
Guys, just get your popcorn. Just see that, because she has things to pour. Be ready to receive.
Jane, you should have asked me this question before now.
That is actually why it's called the TMI, the too much information, because you'll be caught unaware. Yeah, we have to do this backstage, but if we do it backstage, that means you will not have so much to tell us. Just be free. We want you to be free in our channel.
I'm actually free.
So spill it out. Take your time.
Okay, I'm going to take my time. So it means we're going to stay here for 5 hours. That's taking my time.
Here. You two guys, hope you guys are ready, because we are here.
So as compared to both of them, I would say the only difference is, for me, it's time and more intentionality with getting to learn new things and like making necessary adjustments and like adapting. And then this just drops the food.
I told you guys, I
the
told
food.
you to wait.
Initially it wasn't really a thing for me with the food, because back home, one thing my family would hail me for was the fact that I rarely select food. So it's more like I eat everything. But coming to China for the first year, it wasn't that big of a deal, because we were in the school, and then you get things from the canteen and all whatnot. So by the time I left, it kind of got different, because now you've got to sort for food outside, and they're quite expensive, and you have to start cooking. So all of those things, I would say, with that, it kind of made me grow in that aspect of not necessarily, because you now know that, okay, you can't find some of the things you need, and even the ones you find, you don't like them, and those ones are the ones that are actually healthy for you. So I kind of had to improvise. I would say over the years, I've learned to improvise, cook on my own, and then it's just been learning, adapting, and all whatnot for me, basically.
I like the fact you talked about living outside has improved you. It's quite opposite for some people out there. They feel very comfortable staying in the dormitory than maybe living on their own outside. So living outside, would you say it's quite an advantage, or you regret some things about it?
I would say there's both. This is not a one-way street thing where you say one stroke fits all sides something. So I think there's, for every decision, there's always an advantage and a disadvantage to it. So personally for me, I kind of feel that there are lots of advantages to being or living inside the dormitory, because you get to have, it's more like there's a community of students, and then there's that atmosphere of study, unity, where you kind of, like, you guys can blend easily as compared to staying outside. And then I also think that your personality also will kind of play out in your choice, because if you're someone that you're naturally social, having to live outside, of course, except you're staying outside, where you kind of would meet, you have the opportunity to meet people, then that's acceptable. But if you know that you're not the kind that will want to be in solitude or something like that, I kind of feel that staying in dormitory is a better choice. And then the security is high. You can't compare that with living outside. And the fact that, you can get needed information in school. Okay, we're having a conversation backstage where I was asking you, how do you guys get most information in school? And that's literally because I stay off campus. While I was in school, it's easier, even if you're not in certain groups, because you have students around. You can get certain informations very fast. So they're just, both of them have their disadvantages. So staying outside has its disadvantages, it has its advantage. For me, I would say one of the advantages is the fact that you're not being restricted to do certain things. Like when there was the lockdown, you guys couldn't do a couple of things I personally could do. And so they just have their own
Okay, that's quite true and interesting to know. So you've talked so much about living inside a school dorm and all of that. It means you're a student, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
So what's your discipline?
I study Chinese language.
Great.
Generally.
Guys, do you guys want to hear her speak Chinese? Well, you're studying Chinese language, right? And I mean, how did you get to this point?
How exactly? How did I get?
I mean, a Chinese language, and you can speak Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Guys, are you not curious to know how she made it? Like, how did you get to learn Chinese so fast? And how long have you been learning Chinese?
Jesus is the answer. That's a joke, but really, the nutshell of everything, it's still him helping. But I would want to, should I say, what's the word now? I would love to disagree with something you had said, how you learned Chinese so fast. My Chinese, I didn't learn Chinese so fast. It's been a process. And then I think this is like my 5th year or 4th year. I started learning Chinese in 2016 or 17. One of them do. And then even though at some point, like, I kind of gave it a break, but if we check from now till, I think that's about 4 to 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So it's been a gradual process, and I kind of feel that practice makes perfect. The more you speak and listen, and then you're engaged with the language, the better you do. And being in an environment where you're hearing and you have the opportunity to kind of interact with the environment, it makes things more easy as compared to being back home.
Great. Guys, actually, her Chinese is good. Don't mind what she's saying, okay? Her Chinese is perfect. And I think you learned in Nigeria before coming here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's actually an opportunity to learn Chinese in Nigeria. All right, if you have any question, of course, just comment and I will give you the details you need. So, that aside, let's go to your dislikes and likes about China.
I love China.
Okay, now let's go with the likes or things you really love about China.
Okay, things I like about China. I like the fact that the people here, I'm going to speak, forgive me please, I'm going to speak from the perspective of the city where I stay, like the province where I stay, because that's where like I kind of have, like I've interacted more with the people as compared to outside.
Where are you?
Shandong province.
Shandong province.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So, and generally, it's a general knowledge that the people of Shandong are naturally heartwarming. Like they're really friendly, with especially with foreigners and all whatnot. So, my first encounter with the Chinese, I mean, coming to China, I'm going to deviate a bit. Please forgive me. Coming to China, I mean, I was excited and all whatnot, and I remember that I think I got one elderly advice, with the fact that Chinese people are racist and blah blah blah. And so at the back of my mind, I just kept that. I mean, I wasn't coming to China with that mindset of, hey, if you give it to me, we'll fight or something like that. But I just had that at the like at the corner of my mind. And then coming to China and then encountering the Shandong people, I had instances where I didn't have money to pay in the bus, and then the people willingly paid for me, and it kind of like it was, you know, like a reaffirmation or an affirmation of what I had heard, not the negative now about China, about Shandong people. And then I remember, let me quickly chip this in. I remember the first time I came to China, I had lost my passport. It's a whole long story altogether and a miracle.
That is don't pray for that.
Really don't. I had lost my passport, and it was frustrating. And I could recall that day I had prayed. That was in Beijing, actually. I had made a prayer because I was stranded. They had to take me to what is it called again? The embassy in Beijing. They were not working at the time. They were on break. So they had to even give me a room to stay until the day they resumed to kind of figure out how to go about my issue. But prior to that, the night before that morning when I was taken to the embassy, I had met this guy. He was a police. Wow. And I remember I had made a prayer. And then this guy came along and he asked me, he didn't really seem, he was so unassuming, he didn't look like somebody that can even help anybody. Wow. And then he asked for my email, asked for my number, and it happened that he works in the airport. He's a police officer, and then he works in the airport. And then at the end, long story cut short, he was actually the one who found my passport in the airport. It happened that I had left it at the counter where we went to.
Wow.
He got it, contacted me because I didn't have my Chinese line were not working. I haven't gotten one at the time. Wow. So he had to contact me using my email, and it was just a whole long story. So all of those things kind of, you know, should I say, strengthened my love for Chinese people. So I mean there are people that are on the other extreme, but yeah.
Generally speaking, they're good.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you. You've talked about your warming experience with the Chinese people. Okay, we all have that. All right. So what are some challenges you're facing in China as a student?
As a person or with the people?
Let's say, generally speaking, as a student and most especially as a Nigerian.
The challenges I have, I think the first thing I would that would be on my list is the food. The food is going to be top there for me because I mean the change is drastic. The fact that the certain foods you eat back home you can eat here, and I mean the older you get, the more you realize that there's certain nutrients you need. So one of it is food, and then another will be, for me, that's only what's on my head or in my head right now, food. Okay. So that's one huge challenge, yeah.
All right, sure. So obviously the food in Nigeria is definitely different from here. And with time, did you get used to some of it or all of it?
Some of it, yeah, I
Still
did.
Some of it at this time.
Yeah.
Great. So means you also cook and for yourself.
Yeah, I cook mostly.
I think that's just the best. So, speaking of all of this right now, we've talked about so many things, and could you briefly tell us the cultural differences you think Nigeria has with China? Whoa, guys, that's a big question.
They're actually, I think the way of communication are quite different.
Okay.
In a situation, Chinese people are naturally modest and quite shy. And so in a scenario where, in my country, usually we are more confrontational. I mean, most people are more confrontational. So instead of being outspoken, you're talking about, do you want this? And you're like, yes, give me, I want. In Chinese, you have something like, and then I think that's one. The way we think, I think we think differently to a very large extent. Yeah, and then one other cultural difference, I would say, I I think it's one I've noticed recently regarding their marriage. So I know that like back home, it's more of the family. The male family do more of the traditional rites, like pay more of the money and all whatnot. Okay. But then here, it's more like the female does more of the paying. Yeah. So the dowry. Wow. The dowry usually is brought in by the female family, and I attended a wedding earlier this year, and it was just a whole pack of knowledge for me. Wow. So yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there are lots of it, but these are just the ones that are coming to my head right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great. And about this marriage, I thought it was just the Indian. So Chinese also do that.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
They do.
Honestly, guys, this TMI has really opened my eyes to a lot. Okay, normally I wouldn't know so many things about so many cultures and countries, but bringing so many guests on my TMI series has really taught me a lot. So the last thing today would be, what are the advice you would give to people back home? 1, being a Nigerian here in China. 2, being a Nigerian lady here in China. And 3, being a Christian here in China.
Advice to give to them as per
maybe people aspiring or thinking
to come to China,
willing to come to China, or let's just say abroad as a whole, especially China.
Well, take your time is what I would say. Take your time, because I feel that traveling outside the country is overrated. Actually, it really is overrated, because I believe lots of people back home have a mindset of, once you're outside the country, you don't blow, and all whatnot. It's always a process. They're just things, you've got to know, because I mean, there are situations where people have to go the other route, the wrong route to get, to live out abroad or something like that. So take your time, and then be sure that's what God wants for you, because you could be in a place and you find out you're finally frustrated. And you wouldn't want to be at that point where you're seeing it's as though you're outside and Odisiaka, let me speak a little Igbo here. Odisiaka, your own is worst. You came, and instead of having a headway, it's as though everything is just going south and all whatnot. So I would say take your time. Be sure that there's no need to rush, no need to cut corners, because if you start cutting corners now, you have to keep cutting corners to stay, and exactly. It can be frustrating. Trust God, trust Him that He has the map, and He knows what He's doing for you. That dependency will kind of help you. If whether you're going to be in China, whether you're going to be in Canada, whether you're going to be back home, it's just being in the plan of God for you. That's the real thing. So yeah, that's it. That's what I would say.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Justina. I'm really, really grateful for you having me and willing to talk to our guests, our YouTube family, about your experience here in China. I mean, we've learned a lot. I personally have learned a lot, and I know that you guys learned a lot too. So, is there any last word for the family in Igbo, in Chinese?
Last word. I think last word is for people that are dying.
Okay. That was a misuse of language. Any
I'm joking. I'm actually joking.
I can say farewell too. Yeah.
I was joking.
Okay. Oh my God. Actually, it sounded that way. So I'm trying to know the word to use.
No. Last words are okay. Saying last word is okay. It's no. I think I've said my last word in my advice already. Okay. But if I'm going to speak Igbo. It's really hard. It's really hard speaking Igbo, especially with. I met somebody recently. I was telling him, it's so hard for me to speak my language or speak a certain language that I speak back home with China, because as though China is Chinese stories intruding into the language. So let me try and speak Igbo, because I'm very sure I cannot speak Chinese right now. So Chineke gozi me amara. Jane.
Okay, guys, that's just it for TMI series today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to stay tuned, subscribe, keep sharing, like if you see this, and come back for more every week. We're going to be posting these every week and bringing beautiful faces to you guys. Bye for now.
Bye.